everyone, and welcome back, guys, to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 16 of our F1 2021 Williams Road to Glory. Yes, again, a bit of an apology for a fairly quiet weekend on the channel. Of course, like I've mentioned in a couple of videos, we've been playing a lot of Forza Horizon 5 over on the second channel, of course. So if you want to go check that out, I would definitely recommend doing so. But I thought we'd jump back in today with the Williams Road to Glory. We'll be back with my team very soon. I promise you that as well there. But heading into this one, currently still pretty close to Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin at this stage of the game. It looks like Alpine have brought a lot of upgrades as we head into this weekend as well there. But of course, if you missed out on the last race from Suzuka, I would definitely recommend going back and check it out as well. Championship-wise, we're looking pretty safe in 8th place overall in the Constructors' Championship there. Yuki Tsunoda's had a good run of form in recent weeks, so the battle for 14th is starting to heat up in the Drivers' Championship battle as well. But Kota's always been an interesting track for us. Let's see what we can do this weekend, of course. Rule changes have been confirmed. We don't know quite where they're going to be yet, so we're just trying to save some R&D points at the moment.
Okay, I need your attention. The tech regulations are changing. There's a risk some of our hard work will be undone, so we need to mitigate it. As soon as you can, I want you to look at the developments we have and tell us what areas you want to invest in protecting.
Right, well there we go then. Confirmation. We are going to be seeing some rule changes next year, and now we know which department they're going to be, and it is Aero and Chassis. So where we've put a lot of work into the car over the course of the year. So we're going to have to be really careful over the coming weeks. I've got to try and earn some R&D points there to get as many of those parts saved as we possibly can. Of course, always the aim is to do the most expensive ones first. So yeah, that is going to be the focus now in the final 5 races of the year. Let's dive into qualifying. Qualifying day for the US Grand Prix, and I'll be honest, not feeling too confident in the car so far. It's always been the problem this year, low speed cornering. This thing still doesn't feel particularly stable, but we'll wait and see as to how things go over the course of the weekend there. Down in towards turn 1. Yeah, you can just hear the back end, we're barely on throttle, and the rear wheels are already trying to spin out from beneath us. But yeah, fingers crossed we can just get this first lap hooked up. Looking rather overcast as well, so of course temperatures are going to be down, which means therefore so is grip. But we'll wait and see there. There's not been too bad a run through the S's. Of course, trying to attack that last sausage curb. FYI, letting you run a little bit wide on the exit of that corner this weekend. But yeah, so far so good. As we head through the Turkey S section to finish off our first qualifying lap. Still not quite full throttle in this Williams, as we really struggle through the penultimate corner as well. Let's get the car anywhere near the apex. One more turn to go. And still, yeah, struggling to work out what the back end's doing. It's going to be a 33, 7/10 of Yuki Tsunoda there. Is not quite where I'd planned. Getting ready then for our second run. Still in the ballpark of our teammate George Russell, but I think final 5 race of the year we're set to struggle. Team just warning us, of course, we've got next to no fuel in the car, which is exactly what we want. But yeah, of course, applying no more upgrades, and still a little way behind Alfa Romeo, Alfa Tauri, Aston Martin, all those teams. Going to be tough the final few races of the year, but again, we're just looking forward to Season 2 now. Because again, not a bad run on the exit of Turn 1. As we head through the S's though, struggling to just get the car pointed where we need it. Second guessing ourselves through there, but that's okay. We hold it all together in one piece as we drop it back a little bit of time. Again, just running a little bit wide on the exit there, but a 1/10.5 down already. Quite what we need. Right, final sector then. We've clawed back a little bit of time there, being nice and brave in a couple of the braking zones. But now we need to try and get this second lap hooked up. See if we can get close to a 32. Not the line we needed there though. We're all out of shape at the moment, and we're just pushing the car a little bit too hard there. We've actually got an engine warning light come on. No idea what part that's for, but we might have to take some penalties now before this Grand Prix. Bit wide through the penultimate corner there. That was a bit committed, but one more corner to go up towards the line. We are going to find a bit of time. So 32.9, and that puts us quicker than Russell. But the ICE and the control electronics both up to 60%. We might need to change some parts ready for the Grand Prix. Right, final run in Q1 time then. Let's just wait and see what we can do here as we head through the final corner up towards start-finish line. We need to try and get a really nailed up lap here. I reckon sort of mid to high 32s are definitely doable. Currently, of course, sat on that 32.9. If we could get in with the likes of the Alfa Romeos and the Astons, that would be rather good. That's a lot of curve through turn 1, and back end still trying to kick out of us on the exit of the corner. They're down the hill through turn 2 we go. A bit of a nothing corner before we head in towards the S's. That's pretty tidy through the first couple of parts there. Make sure we get the car rotated back through. That's been, I think, yeah, definitely the best run we've had through the S's so far this session. That was really nice on the exit there. Half a second up already on this final lap, so maybe the grip's starting to come as well. But this car now starting to feel a bit more alive as we head through the hairpin. Now we start to get the struggles again. Nice double kick of oversteer there on the exit of the corner, and a bit of a fishtail that's going to cost us momentum all the way down the back straightaway here. Russell and Schumacher have found more time, so we definitely need to improve. Get on the brakes just before the 100 board there. That's not too shabby. Means we get nicely on the power on the exit, and then just trying to get the car rotated through these next couple of turns. Make sure we don't run too deep through here, which we have done. Still half second up though as we head through the Turkey section. Try and get the car towards that second apex and then get on the throttle all the way through the rest of the corner. Try and keep it within track limits. Right on the curb and on the exit of the penultimate corner there. One more to go. Try and get it slowed down up towards the line. It is going to be a half-second improvement, and that's P16. Here we go then. Valtteri Bottas deals another blow in the tense championship battle at the front there. Pole position ahead of Lewis Hamilton with Charles Leclerc up in P3. Half a second clear of his teammate Carlos Sainz at the end of qualifying. No other major surprises by the looks of it. I would have thought Stroll a little bit disappointed to be down in 15th place there. Kimi Räikkönen, I'm sure, yeah, gutted to end up behind ourselves, but we might have to take some penalties for the start of this one, so we might be starting at the back here for the US Grand Prix. Let's get it.
Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin, in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself 14 miles southeast of the city centre and home to the US Grand Prix since 2012. The latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. We have 10 turns to the left and 10 to the right here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track. And we should see average lap speeds of around 126 miles per hour. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Vettel, Ocon, and Charles Leclerc, Giovinazzi, Stroll, Kimi Räikkönen, and Russell, Norris, Mick Schumacher, Pierre Gasly. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Yuki Tsunoda, Mazepin, and Mr. Monaco. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Well, here we are then on the grid, ready for the US Grand Prix, and yeah, as predicted, we did have to take some grid penalties for this one here today. However, should mean we don't have to worry between now and the end of the year. We'll have to wait and see as to how the car holds out here. But the US Grand Prix, not too far away now, looking like a rather cloudy one here as well. But strategy, we're going to start on the mediums. We'll see just how far we can take him and whether it's worth trying to go softs towards the end of the Grand Prix there. Who knows what will happen today. Always the chance for safety car here at Capure as well. But let's dive in then to the USGP. 5 races to go of the year. Waiting on 5 red lights. And it is going to be lights out. And away we go. Off to a not particularly brilliant start, but not the worst one we've had in the world either. As we head down in towards turn 1. We'll have a sneak up the inside of Yuki Tsunoda there as contact with Gasly immediately off the bat. Still struggling to work out what the rear end of this thing is doing there, so we don't make any progress through the first couple of corners. They're down through the S's though for the first time in this race. Yeah, really struggling early on here. This Williams has just completely fallen away from us. Everyone else in front of us, though, is on soft tyres, of course, so that probably does help explain a little bit of the lack of pace at the start. There's around the outside of Sonoda we go. Can't quite put the power down on the exit of the corner, so we'll duck back into the slipstream. There was the AlphaTauri. Just takes off on a corner exit there. That is rather impressive to see with his Honda power. Oh, thought about having a look to the outside, but Sonoda not having anything of that. So we'll almost run to the back of him in towards Sector 3. But it looks like, yeah, it's AlphaTauri, Haas just in front of us. Then our teammate George Russell a little way up the road. It's still Mercedes 1-2 as we round the final couple of corners of lap 1. But has Hamilton been able to make a move on his teammate Valtteri Bottas there and effectively given himself a rather important 7-point swing round the final couple of corners? No, he is not. Bottas still leads the way at the end of lap 1 here in Austin. Yuki Tsunoda might be having a look at Nikita Mazepin now as we head down the back straightaway on lap 2. I'm sure Haas would love to finish anywhere other than last this weekend, as what was that from the back end? Haven't had that in a very long time in this car, but yeah, really struggling for balance at the moment. There, as you can see, just fighting this thing right around the lap. We just need to try and get those tyres working and get into a good rhythm. Here we go, Tsunoda again on Nikita Mazepin. This time around, he's got a lot better of a run there, and Mazepin can't really do anything to defend himself this time around there. Tsunoda up at a P18. We've just got news over the radio as well that Gasly might be having more mechanical gremlins, so maybe we're going to be able to apply some more pressure. It's not going to be getting much of a tow from Tsunoda back in towards turn 1. Definitely feel like we're building up some confidence as soon as he says that. Back end tries it again. But maybe now we can try and get past Mazepin down the back straight. Right, couldn't get a run on Mazepin down the back straight, so maybe out of the final corner we can do something this time round. Car does seem to grip up rather nicely through there. And look at that, we should be able to get a run now on Mazepin as we head back up the hill in towards turn 1. Late on the brakes down the outside. Mazepin's going to keep the nose there. And are we going to be able to hold on? No, we're not. Really struggling early on today, as we might be able to get a run down in towards turn 3. No. Yeah, I mean, we're on harder rubber, like I said, but still just really struggling with any confidence in the car. To the inside, no. Again, nothing happening there. As now we're going to both come up towards Gasly again, who has definitely got issues in that AlphaTauri. He's watched Tsunoda run fly past him. He's now all over the back of Mick Schumacher here. That Mazepin and myself are surely going to be lining up a move on Pierre over the next couple of laps. So again, trying to roll on the power just a little bit too early. Mazepin and myself will both get DRS this time round, but we're still gaining massively on the Haas car there. To the outside we're going to have to go, as again he goes defensive on us. Couldn't pull it off in towards turn 1. Can we pull it off down the back straight? I need to start making progress here. Gives us some room. Oh, it tries to turn in, but we're there. And we will see you later. Gasly still really struggling early on in this Grand Prix as we're trying to make sure Nikita Mazepin hasn't got any DRS on us. I don't think he will. I think he just dipped out the 1 second mark, but Schumacher and Tsunoda 3 seconds up the road already in this stint. Starting on the mediums has definitely not been the way to go today, but we should be able to move past Gasly there again. Very wounded AlphaTauri early on, struggling with some mechanical issues. Get around the outside. I went out a bit of P18.
Good job, nice overtake. Okay, gap ahead is 1.9 seconds.
Slow progress early on, but Mick Schumacher up next. Race should start to come to us as well soon, when these guys start burning out their rubber. Coming towards the end of lap 8, looks like we're starting to see our first few pitters in the Grand Prix. At the moment, yeah, we're just making slow but steady progress up to the back of Mick Schumacher, who is not going to dive it in at the end of that one. But yeah, like I said though, I think these final 5 races of the year are going to be a bit tough, as we got one of the Ferraris in, that Charles Leclerc, just up the road, or now just behind us on the road, I should say. But yeah, I think just obviously stopping the progress, stopping the upgrades that we're doing to really try and launch ourselves into the midfield is definitely the better thing long term. But yeah, these final few races of the year are going to be long. We've got yellow flags out. Someone's got issues up the road. Is that the McLaren? I think it might be. No, it's the Aston Martin. I'm going to guess of Lance Stroll. Yes, it is. The Canadian out of the US Grand Prix here as we're getting a run on Mick Schumacher. Need to get past him before the yellow flags. Oh, have we done so? Team have warned us about the yellows, but there they are. And there is Lance Stroll out of the US Grand Prix. Looks to be a power unit failure for the Canadian, but not what he needed today. He's got a load more pitters in at the end of lap 9 as well.
George in the pits.
Including our teammate George Russell there. Schumacher hasn't opted to come in, so he's going to help us by holding up Charles Leclerc a little bit longer. As we're going to get ahead of Carlos Sainz as well, are we? It's going to be pretty close to myself and Carlos in towards turn 1. As all, Mick Schumacher almost into the back of me there, as we try to get a good run down the hill. But we are now going to be in a Ferrari sandwich here with Mick Schumacher as well as part of the filling. But anyway, yeah, let's just keep our head down. We've got to try and get these tyres a few more laps if we want to make our strategy work today. There's a lot of these guys must be two-stopping. Charles Leclerc now all over the back of us, and I don't think we're really going to have to put up much of a fight here. Yep, there goes the Ferrari down around the outside. So we'll slot back into P15 here as Russell 10 seconds back. Yeah, don't think we're really going to be battling Charles Leclerc a lot today, I'll be honest, team. But yeah, just trying to keep the thing. I want to try and get to about lap 16. Then I reckon we can take softs to the end. But it's going to be no easy feat. As you can see, as proven once more right then. There we go, a load more cars into the pits at the end of lap 11.
Now. We're boxing this lap.
So they're all going mediums. Are they trying to get to the end? Are they trying to do the opposite of what we're trying to do here? Is all Alonso and Sainz, the two Spaniards, trading some paint through turn 1. That's not what they wanted, but we're now up at a 14th. Alonso picked up some damage from that contact there. You can see, yeah, he definitely has, on the right-hand side of his front wing. So we might now be able to apply some pressure to the Alpine, and he might have the box again here. Don't want to be sat behind him through the final sector. No, he hasn't got damage there. Is he okay? What is Alonso doing at this stage of the day there? Perhaps he's just trying to get heat into his rudder. Either way, if we can get past him, we're certainly going to look for a move there. So I think there might be 3 wide up the road in towards sector 3. Around the outside of the Alpine. Hope he gives us some room. No, Alonso does not. As yeah, they were definitely 3 wide further up. Looks like they've all lived to fight another day there. As Alonso, yeah, through the corners is really struggling. Up the inside again. Thank you very much. Even more cars into the pits at the end of the next lap. Is Alonso going to be one of them? Yes, he is. So Alonso did have damage there. My suspicions were correct. And we might be up into the points here of the US Grand Prix, albeit only briefly. There goes Lando Norris, and we are going to be 10th. Whether it's just for a moment or not, as the McLaren comes out right alongside me. Yeah, up at the 10th place we go, but yeah, surely Lando's going to be past me pretty quickly. Norris isn't even going to wait for the back straightaway here. Up the inside he goes in his McLaren. Does give us some room on the exit. No, he doesn't. So we will slot back in behind there, and Lando Norris is going to get some DRS. And yeah, again, he's not really someone we're probably going to be battling with today. So we'll just let him get on with it, let him do his own thing. Russell now, less than 7 seconds back. Tyre warning light has now come on in this Grand Prix, but we're probably going to box at the end of this lap there. I think 12 laps on a set of softs. It's going to be a very tall order, so I'll have to try and keep them in very, very good nick here. But yeah, these mediums are all but completely spent up in this race. Just got to try and get through one more lap here of Kota. Through the final few corners, though, of lap 16. Yeah, these tyres are well and truly spent in this race. Struggling to even get full throttle on the exit of the Turkey section. Penultimate corner, though. Car just about holds it on the curb in there, as we need to be nice and aggressive in towards the pit lane here. Charles Leclerc in for his second stop, as we just about to get the car slowed down as well there. No idea where we're going to re-emerge in this Grand Prix. It might be around Nikita Mazepin still in this one, but then we are trying to go to the end of the race, so fingers crossed we're going to have some good pace over the next few laps as well here. 2.4 second stop isn't too shabby either. We might come out actually near Fernando Alonso in this Grand Prix.
One stop left in this strategy.
And in fact, we'll get out ahead of Fernando Alonso here. Rather aggressive back out towards the racing line. But yeah, still out in P15 then, which to be honest is better than I thought it would be. Ahead of Alonso, both Haas cars, and of course Pierre Gasly, who still seems to be having issues. George Russell into the pits again though at the end of lap 17. So we should be back out ahead of our teammate here, who's actually taking good time at Giovinazzi as well at the moment. There is George Russell. So we're going to be back up into P14 then, and it might be P13 in just a moment, as Sonoda's done a really good job. And of course being right at the very back as well there, to almost be back into the points. However, For me, I want him to do a really bad job, of course, because he is our main rival in the driver's title. Yeah, the car definitely feels a whole lot better on these soft tyres, as you'd probably come to expect with this Williams as well. But to the outside of Giovinazzi as we head down the back straight. Surely the Alfa Romeo's not really going to have much to do here. And yes, he does not.
Nice move.
Around the outside. Up at a P13 now as Kimi and Yuki 5 seconds up the road. As we head on to lap 20 then of the US Grand Prix. It's a very fine balance at the moment. Trying to make sure we're quick enough that we can challenge Kimi.
Be on the softs.
We're definitely not going to try and pit again today. But yeah, trying to be quick enough that we can challenge Kimi. But also making sure we get these tyres through to the end. It's a fine balance and things like that aren't going to help still. Alonso as well now starting to close back in as Giovinazzi, I reckon, has got problems as well. Right, come on then, Kimi Räikkönen, let's see what you've got.
About tyre condition for now, everything's looking good.
Seems to reckon the tyres are looking good, but I'm not so optimistic they're going to make it right the way through to the end of this race here. Kimi Räikkönen's got pretty good top-end speed in that Alfa Romeo, but we will send it to the inside. Try and give him some room on the exit, but Kimi don't really want to have a battle at the moment. He knows these tyres are going to go his way towards the end, but up at a 12th. Tsunoda 3 seconds in front, but Charles Leclerc in 10th, 20 seconds up the road. Oh, we got more yellow flags out. It's one of the Red Bulls going slowly. Is it Max? Is it Sergio? And we'll find out in just a moment here, but heartbreak for Red Bull right towards the end of the US Grand Prix here as they were locked into a big battle with McLaren. Seems to be a power unit failure for Sergio Perez, and we could have really done with a safety car at this stage of the day, just giving the tyres a few laps of peace. But doesn't look like we're going to get one here with 4 laps to go. Tyre warning light hasn't come on yet, but it's not far away as Alonso now closing in. But Yuki Tsunoda now is going to be into the points here at COTA, so I don't think we're going to be able to close up to him.
Caution.
But it could have been really useful. It will be a case of letting Alonso go in the Alpine here, just so he can try to attack Tsunoda at the end of this race. Yeah, we're going to try and play the strategy card. Don't really think we're going to be able to do much to defend against Fernando anyway, so if he can get Tsunoda, that's really helpful for us in the Drivers' Championship. And obviously not going to see much change to the Constructors unless Alfa Romeo pull out an absolute worldie, or we do. Yeah, Alonso's got 4 seconds to close down to Yuki Tsunoda in 4 laps if he wants some points here. And there we go, with 2.5 laps left, the tyre warning light has come on once more, so we are definitely going to struggle in the dying stages of this Grand Prix, but I don't think Kimi is in much better shape at the moment. But Alonso, yeah, is not taking the time out of Tsunoda. I'd hoped he would either. Gap is now under 3, but yeah, it's just not coming out quick enough, and Tsunoda might be about to put himself 1 point closer to us. Only needs another 10th place, and it will be all square. Well, about to start the final lap then of this US Grand Prix, and these tyres are, yeah, definitely about to fall off the cliff. They're just peering over the edge, I think, at this stage. But final lap though, and really, I mean, less than 10 seconds away from the points, with how I felt at the end of the first stint, as that is not the line through turn 1, is not bad going, it must be said. We've got a little bit lucky, of course, because of Perez and Lance Stroll's retirements. But yeah, less than 10 seconds away from the points. Certainly is a lot better than I thought we'd do at the start of this one. We've got the pace just about, I think, to hang on with the Alfa Romeos in the final few rounds of the year. But Hamilton does come through to win here in COTA and claim a 7-point advantage on his teammate Valtteri Bottas when all is said and done this weekend. Is Kimi now going to go for an all-or-nothing style move on us? As, oh, look at that, how much we're struggling with the tyres. He doesn't have to go for an all-or-nothing move. He's just going to get clean past us as we'll try and use some ERS to try and close up the gap once more. But these tyres are completely gone in this Grand Prix there. And you can see, despite using all the battery, we've still got nothing there. Kimi really struggling. We're really struggling as well here as we just try and nurse the car home through the final few corners of this Grand Prix. Just pushed the rubber a little bit too hard at the end of the day. But Bottas comes through for P2. Max Verstappen in P3 ahead of both of McLarens there, and then a big old train of cars rounding out your points finish there. Yuki Tsunoda is going to claim 1 point as well for AlphaTauri. A good weekend for him after starting right at the very back of the field. But for us, it's 20th to 13th. Decent on paper, but yeah, these last few races are going to be tough.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
I think for driver of the day, I'd probably pick Lando Norris. He lived up to every inch of his reputation today, and I think he'll be going home, quite rightly, a bit proud of himself.
The Constructors' Championship may be a foregone conclusion at the moment, but regardless, let's look at the standings. It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. Meanwhile, Alpine move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Well, there we are then, guys, the end of the US Grand Prix, and a hammer blow from Lewis Hamilton to take the win by just 0.6 of a second from his teammate Valtteri Bottas there. Max Verstappen in P3 with the fastest lap bonus point ahead of Ricciardo there, and Norris, 5th from 15th on the grid. A very good day in the office from him there. Ocon ahead of Vettel and Carlos Sainz there, with Leclerc and Tsunoda rounding out your top 10 there. Alonso gutted just to finish out outside of the points there, and then of course all us backmarker cars with Pierre Gasly, who had issues all day long. Perez and Stroll, the only two not to make it to the checkered flag there, and it means championship-wise Hamilton now 53 clear at the top of the table there. That's 2 race victories worth as we head into the final 4 rounds of the year. So as long as Valtteri Bottas doesn't outscore him in South America over the next 2 weekends, Lewis Hamilton will be world champion before we head to Albert Park there. Vettel gets the jump on his teammate Lance Stroll after a decent weekend for him. No other changes, though, in the Drivers' Championship. Alpine jump AlphaTauri in the Constructors there, though, in a battle that is heating up right the way through to the end of the story. But, yeah, Yuki Tsunoda now 1 point behind us as we head into the final 4 races of the year. Can he get one more stroke of luck to jump ahead of us? We'll have to wait and see. Thank you all so much for watching this video, though. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like. Get yourselves subscribed as well. And yeah, we'll be back very, very soon for round 17 of the year, where we head to Mexico. You guys do not want to miss it. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel supporters. So a massive thank you to the Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David, Ben, Aidan, Estasios, Cato, Sean, Yoni, McBlam, Mighty Spork, Taziuf, and William for becoming channel members. If you want to join them and be featured in all of these videos, you can click the join button down below.